America was an agrarian society. And it was a hard life that you had. You woke up early and you worked through the day. And then all of a sudden, if you were so lucky, for one magical day, you were transported from your workaday world into the spangles, into the spectacle that crisscrossed the country, the circus.
You saw extraordinary animals that you sometimes had never seen. Whether you were a child or an adult, seeing a giraffe was totally unheard of, and seeing wild cats and zebras, and African animals, Asian animals.
It looked like an invasion because there would be elephants, there would be cages of wild animals, there would be teams of horses, there would be a band, and there would be hundreds of people lining the streets.
For generations, the story was familiar. The circus crashed in on everyday life, loud and brash, then vanished like an illusion, leaving some child dreaming of a different life.
I was 4 years old, and my mother said, "Look back there, Roger, that's Clyde Beatty." He came running toward us and began to crack the whip, and in came these animals that I'd never seen. And the excitement was something that got into me. I knew I would do that work someday. It was my epiphany.
I first remember the circus when my father would take me to bed and he would hum the elephant entry song from Hagenbeck Wallace in 1932, and it went da da boom 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 boom, da da boom 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 boom, and I've never forgotten that. My father inspired me to the circus. He loved it himself, and I took it from him.
The circus had arrived in America in the nation's earliest days, small and insignificant. But as the country grew, the circus would evolve with it into a gargantuan industrialized entertainment, appealing to both the humble and the illustrious. It would stitch into one nation a patchwork of disconnected communities and dazzle not just Americans, but the entire world.
A 19th century writer called the circus our season of imaginative play. What the circus offered is this ability in a way to dissolve oneself, to have an out-of-body experience. The act of dancing on a horse's back, the act of performing on a trapeze, on a rope, or doing a strength act. All of these forms of circus arts, they push the boundaries of human strength, of the limited nature of our humanness, in ways that allow us to transcend it. For me, that is the essence of circus.
A swell of humanity flocked to Brooklyn on April 10, 1871, to see the most elaborate entertainment ever mounted in the United States. A dizzying array of human oddities and acrobats, museum exhibits, and wildlife, jugglers, trapeze artists, and strongmen. Its largest tent, or big top, featuring 60 performers, could seat 5,000 people. The museum tent boasted a slew of sideshow attractions, including a so-called midget known as Admiral Dot. A third pavilion housed a zoo, or what was called a menagerie. It displayed 30 cages of animals, including 12 camels, 4 lions, 2 elephants, and a rhinoceros. Some 35 other circuses toured the country that summer. None was as spectacular.
It's this incredible combination of entertainment. It's the circus, it's a menagerie, it's a museum. It was a truly massive show.
This is a village of entertainment. A place that Peter Pan goes, the land of the lost boys. This looks like a place that a bad boy running away from home would love to go to, because everywhere you turned, there was a smell or a sight or a sound that was delectable.
Though the attractions were without rival, many came simply hoping to catch a glimpse of the owner. Over the past 3 decades, Phineas Taylor Barnum had become one of the most famous men in America.
Barnum was the most widely visible and widely known American of the 19th century. It's not an American president. It's not a great scientist or someone who actually had achieved, a breakthrough to improve humankind. It was a showman.
Like many circus impresarios, P.T. Barnum came from humble beginnings. His father, a Connecticut innkeeper and tailor, died when Barnum was 15, leaving the family destitute. Young Phineas tried just about everything to avoid a life of manual labor. He was a shop clerk, he sold lottery tickets, and he hawked Bibles. In the spring of 1835, Barnum bought the rights to exhibit a frail enslaved African-American woman named Joyce Heth. He plastered New York with posters advertising the old woman as George Washington's 161-year-old nursemaid. Though Heth had little choice in the matter, she played the part and the ruse worked. Barnum hoodwinked the press and thousands of others who paid 25 cents to see her. Then he took Heth on tour through New England. In Boston, when his hoax finally stopped attracting paying customers, Barnum came up with another one.
He does something remarkable. He decides to accuse himself of fraud by taking out anonymous notices and advertisements in the paper saying that, in fact, Joyce Heth is not a 161-year-old African-American woman who raised George Washington. In fact, she is an automaton made of India rubber and mechanical springs. She's a robot. This is a trademark Barnum strategy to draw attention to the possibility of criminal fraud and to invite viewers to make up their own minds.
With Heth, Barnum had made himself famous for humbuggery.